Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be a true alpha's state of mind. Well, I've got two really good email success stories that I wanted to share with you today. And what I really love about these guys is they're great students, and both of them were in bad, toxic. One of them was in like a 25-year marriage. The other one was like in a 12-year toxic relationship, toxic marriage. And it's just amazing to see the transformation that both of these guys went through. So I thought, these are two great emails for those of you that maybe you're kind of at the beginning of the journey of applying my work, or you're somewhere in the middle, or you've just been doing things well for many years and you like to be inspired and see how other people are applying the wisdom that's in my first book, 3% Man, as well as the second book, Mastering Yourself. And both of these guys have it in spades, so they're definitely part of the 3% club, if you will. So here's a simultaneous sip in honor of Scott Adams to both of these guys. So it's good water. So if you'd like to get one of these mugs, if you're watching us on YouTube, just click the show more at the bottom, and then click the link to go to Teespring, and you can get these mugs and the Come On Man and t-shirts and other things. And if you go directly to Teespring, just when you're there in the search bar, type in Coach Corey Wayne, and my mugs and my shirts and stuff should come up, because I know a lot of you guys are asking me about those. So with that said, I got a quote that I wrote on this topic, and which obviously both of these guys totally embody that. I'm so proud of both these dudes. I mean, they're just doing great. And who doesn't love a success story? Who doesn't love to see a guy coming back from just feeling like absolute dog turds to turn their lives around and have the kind of life that they pinch themselves when they get up and they think, how can this be real? This is amazing. So the quote says, "A true alpha's state of mind is one of indifference, charm, humor, humility, courage, and a belief that eventually things will work out in their favor. Alphas set, keep, and hold other people accountable to their boundaries. They stand up for what they believe in and don't compromise their principles or values for anyone. They have an emotionally compelling vision of what kind of life and lifestyle they want to create, and then resolve to pay the price, no matter how long it takes, to make it a reality. Alphas take action, while betas are all talk and no action." Huge distinction. Being an alpha versus a beta, it's not about beating people up and kicking their ass, which it's nice to be able to do that, and to be a dangerous man, because women like dangerous but nice men. The point being is that alphas go for it. Betas are too timid and shy, and they talk and they talk and they do very little. These guys are taking action, and obviously the results are, you'll see, they speak for themselves. So let's go to the first guy's email. He says, "Hey, Coach, I don't have a question, but a success story. I bought both of your books through Amazon and listened through Audible. I listened to 3% Man about 12 times and Mastering Yourself 3 times." Well, again, if you haven't, he's talking about both of these books here. If you haven't read either one of them, I highly recommend you go to understandingrelationships.com, my website. And then in the upper right-hand corner of every page, or if you're on a mobile device, the very first thing you're going to see is an email sign-up box. Put your name, your first name, and your email. Hit submit. As soon as you hit submit, you'll end up right in the members area where you can start reading whichever book is most important to you. In other words, whatever is most pressing to you. If you want help with the ladies, 3% Man. If you're trying to figure out your purpose and your mission in life, and you want to become a more self-reliant human being, Mastering Yourself obviously would be the book that you'd want to start off with. But both of these guys, most of what you're going to see is a result of 3% Man, because they seem to have their professional lives in order as well. He says, "I got divorced after a 25-year relationship after having the shit kicked out of me psychologically that whole time." Can you imagine 25 years? I mean, the amount of years, it's like I've seen this so many times over my career. It's just guys in relationships for decades that just suck and they don't do anything about it. But no matter where you're at, there's always somebody that is, no matter how old they get, they wipe the slate clean and they start over. And that's what this guy did. Notice what he says. I didn't believe in divorce, so I stuck it out way too long. And again, that was probably somebody else's belief system that he adopted. But after 25 years, he's like, this is madness. This is not a fulfilling way to live. When the relationship was over, it was like the emotional floodgates opened. Most people would call me a man's man, but emotionally, I was a real bitch when it came to women. And I wrote about that in my book, several examples I put in there of guys that are just amazing, successful dudes, but they get around a pretty girl and they just turn into Gumby. It's not attractive and it's not going to help you get what you want. I realized immediately that how I was feeling and acting wasn't normal. I moved halfway across the country for a fresh start. I began to research and found your material and dove in head first. I listened to your books over and over as I used your videos to supplement. I mean, that's just a complete wiping of the slate. Moving to a new area where you pretty much probably don't know anybody, maybe don't even have any friends there, and you're completely starting over at ground zero. It takes balls to do that. That's masculinity. That's courage. That's taking a major risk. Leaving behind everything you've known for decades and moving halfway across the country, that's impressive. That's what a man does. As I moved to the new state, I began to talk to everyone. I knew that I needed tons of practice, so I was using Match.com as well as cold approaches. I was going on 2 to 4 dates a week with different women for almost a year. It's funny, I had these old habits that were so hard to break. I mean, I'm assuming he's probably somewhere maybe around my age, maybe 40s, 50s, somewhere in that area. And when you've been doing this decade after decade, your whole identity, your whole world believes in how you show up. And then when you start applying the things that are in 3% man, oftentimes it's the complete opposite of what you think and you feel you should do. So it's hard because you've got decades of being the old way or the wrong way that doesn't work. And now, like, every time you apply what you're learning from me or in my books, it's like you're creating a new paradigm. You're creating a new mindset. You're looking at the world in a different way. And the more you do that, like I say all the time, repetition's the mother of skill, and you want to read the book 10 to 15 times, that becomes your new mindset. That becomes your new reality. That becomes the way that you interact with the world. And what really builds your confidence is when you see the things that are in my book start to work. And that further reinforces to do more of what the book teaches. After studying your material, I began to know instinctively what to do, but would still do some stupid shit, but catch it immediately, LOL. So I practiced again and again until I got it right. I'm going to read that statement again. I practiced again and again until I got it right. In other words, you practice it over and over again until you can't get it wrong, and you always get it right. Have you ever seen guys that play in the NBA, when they try to purposely miss a basket on purpose, they have a hard time missing because they've always been focused on making the basket, and then they try to miss on purpose. It's a lot harder for them. That's what you want to get to. That's where you're proficient. You don't really have to think about it anymore. It's just instinct. I also realized that I must improve me. I've been a voracious student of other self-help material, going through at least one new book a week. Anyway, it took about 1.5 years, but by the time, I have to admit, I was pretty smooth. I never got nervous. I had the end of the dates down pat and was constantly being complimented on my confidence. Again, these are all things that I say in my book. This is what's going to happen. This is your new experience. This is the way your life will be when you apply these things consistently. After about 1.5 years total, I met an amazing woman, a 9.5 on a scale of 1 to 10. Educated, sweet, open, feminine, I mean smoking hot. Guess what? 12 weeks in, and she's dropping the L word. Don't worry, I'm still going over your material. I know that I can't fall back into my old habits. I really do get that. Well, what's going to be important is now that you're in a relationship is to learn the relationship things, the pieces of wisdom that are mostly in the back of the book of 3% Man. Because that's going to, when I do phone sessions with guys that are in long-term relationships, there's always two reasons why they're struggling. Either A, they stop dating and courting their girl properly, or B, they're not communicating in a way that makes her feel heard and understood. And if the woman doesn't feel heard and understood, the legs close. If she does, the legs open. That's just a fact of life. I don't know if you realize how much you do to help so many of us. I'm a different person. I'm the happiest I've ever been. Not just because of the great woman, but because of who I have become. I honestly don't think that it would have happened without your material. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, Coach. Well, you know what? Thanks for being you, dude. Thanks for being a 3% man and joining the 3% club, because the world desperately needs more dudes like you that have their shit together. Because just your energy when you bring to a room or an environment or a meeting, whatever it happens to be, you're bringing a superior vibe that's more in line with peace and ease and delight and harmony and effortlessness. And it's a much more efficient physiology and vibe. And therefore, everybody around you, even people that might be in a grumpy, angry state, are naturally going to entrain with your more relaxed, more humorous type of state, just because it feels better and it's easier and it's natural. So without even realizing it, just your energy changes your world in every room you walk into. So let's go to the second guy's email. This one's really, the first one's good, but this guy, his email is really interesting. He says, Corey, I've waited some time to write to thank you for what you're offering, man. It is, in my humble opinion, absolutely critical. I suppose I wanted to know for certain that what's happening in my life wasn't some kind of fluke before I reached out with a success story. And I appreciate the fact that you took the time to get to that place. It all started in 2015. Keep in mind, it's 5 years ago, when I woke up to the sudden realization that my 12-year marriage was absolutely toxic. I had lived my entire romantic life as a little beta, despite being 6'3" and holding rank in several different martial arts. Well, like I said in the beginning of the video, being an alpha is not about kicking people's asses. There's lots of really tough dudes that when they get around a woman or their girlfriend or their wife, they just turn into fucking jello. And it's really unattractive. I'm sure everybody watching this is seeing guys go through that metamorphosis, and it's fucking disgusting. My behavior toward women was one of a pleasing beggar. Now that I know what I know, it's difficult for me to look back on those days without facepalming. It is what it is, though. After finally getting strong enough to leave my ex, I wallowed through many different dating advice gurus until I stumbled upon your stuff. Well, I'm a life coach and I teach self-reliance, and that's what sets me apart from everybody else, is I focus on the inner you and the mindset and helping you reach your full potential. Because when you feel like, when you're able to look around at your life, whether it's your personal life or your professional life or just your social life, and everything that you see for the most part is there by your design and your choice because it pleases you, that's when you know you've arrived. That's what being self-reliant is all about. Not being some scared little person that's afraid of the world. A lot of your advice was absolutely counterintuitive to what I've been taught by society, so I took it to my female friends who nodded their heads emphatically. So I dove in. Fast forward to having listened to your book on audio 10 to 15 times and worked hard to overcome my old pleaser state of mind, my life is nothing like it was. I cannot describe to you how hard I struggled with dating when I was younger. Now, it's just fun. 2 years ago, I met an extremely cute redhead with exactly Scarlett Johansson's measurements. She's got a nice body. Gotta admit that. Really nice curves. So I'm with you, dude. She was nerdy and funny and intensely cool. Of course, she had a ton of guys chasing her, and she's been single for quite some time looking for a solid man. Well, a super high quality woman is not going to just settle for any old dude, and they have no problem being single until they meet the right guy. And as a guy, that's a great place that you want to be as well, because pretty much we're surrounded by people that have settled in every area of their life. So you can be like the rest of the crowd, or you can stand out and be part of the 3% club. When we met, I had finally gotten myself into a true alpha's state of mind. I was kind, loving, needing nothing from her, and offered no apologies for telling her she was smoking hot. Yet when I didn't pursue her after letting her know I found her gorgeous and cool, she chased me down like a panther. It's pretty powerful to be able to walk up to a beautiful woman, whether it's at a party or an event, or you just walking down the street and just say, "You're absolutely fucking gorgeous. You got an incredible body. Have a great night. Have a great day." And then go about your business. If you haven't tried that, try that. It's pretty interesting what happens. Especially for the really super beautiful women. They're not used to dudes walking away like that. And a guy that walks away like that it's the vibe of a guy that already has enough feminine energy in his life. He doesn't need more. It's the paradox of choice. In other words, if you know you can have the best of the best in everything in life, you're going to want to make sure, whether it's your friends or the women that you date, that those people really want to be in your life. When you ask them out, they're like, fuck yeah. When you invite them to join you for a drink, they're like, hell yeah, I'd love to. Let's get together. That would be awesome. We just got engaged a few days ago. Now, when I talk about relationships and how broken most men are, my female friends beg me to teach their boyfriends and other men how to step up. This is another, just like I was talking about in the first guy's email. It's like, I can't be everywhere, and I can't influence every single person. And a guy like you that's exuding this, and everybody can see that, and how well you're doing, they'll listen to you because you're setting the vibe and the tone. You're in their world, if you will, or they're in yours, I should say. I invariably recommend your books and videos and find myself eye-rolling at their dating stories. Today, I'm very happy with my fiancé, but I also live my life with extremely hot women just circling, waiting for her to misstep. She won't, though, I think. My attitude is, she's amazing and I love her, but I won't compromise who I am or my standards for anyone, even ScarJo's body double. That's the right mindset, dude, and that's why she loves you. And that's why she does the things I'm about to talk about next. That leaves her literally melting for me every day. But note, I spend every day with her as you suggested. I go to give. Love is about giving without attachments. You go to a relationship to give. But just make sure you find a giver. Because when you give to a giver, the giver will give back. And when you give to a taker, the taker just fucking sucks. I spoil her with affection in the right way, yet there's one thing more. Kind of like the Steve Jobs thing. One more thing. As she and I became more serious and she saw other women's attraction to me, an interesting development arose. It turns out she's bisexual, and the attention of other women woke up an intense kink to share her alpha, as she calls it, so she did. So you take a 47-year-old divorcee who couldn't get a date, now engaged to a gorgeous woman 20 years younger than him, and dating her smoking hot friend. I bet you're really suffering through that, dude. I'm really sorry I fucked your life up. It's a tragedy. And our girlfriend is by no means the first we've had. As I write this up, I'm laughing a bit to myself because I'm sure people might think this is a complete lie, but they have no clue how badly women are dying for true alphas. Also, what do I care if they believe me or not? Exactly, dude. When you start living this way, you're going to get tons of people talking shit. All I have to do is go on any of my social media accounts, and there are just layers and layers of nasty, horrible comments with the most horrible things you can imagine people writing about you. There's probably some hater right now on one of my social media platforms telling me what a horrible person they think I am or calling me all kinds of names. And it's just, hey, it goes with the territory. At the end of the day, people project what's inside of them anyway, so I don't let it get under my skin. If the haters are sitting at home alone, I know a good audiobook they should be listening to. Obviously, 3% Man. In the end, it boils down to this. I get it now, and in no small part to your efforts. So thanks. Keep up the good work, my friend, Bob. Well, thanks for being awesome, Bob, and congratulations on all your success and that you get to experience. And so if you've got a situation or a challenge that you're trying to figure out or get through and you'd like to get my help personally, go to my website, understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen on any page of my website, and book a coaching session with yours truly. And until next time, I will talk to you soon.